Let's take a look at a review for the work. First thing is stated the polygons are similar. When polygons are similar, it has to meet two criteria. One, we're going to check angles. And two, we're going to check the sides. For them to be similar, the angles must be equal. For them to be, when it comes to the sides must be proportional. I'll explain that in a minute. So angles must be equal, sides must be proportional. It has to meet both criteria or the polygon is not similar. So angles first. Let's take a look at number 15. The angles on one figure seem to be the angles on the other figure. So the angles are equal, so that's good. Now sides must be proportional. Let me choose two measurements from the small figure, 6 and 7. Right? If there were three numbers that did not repeat, that happens sometimes in triangles, I will choose all three. Now here I just chose 6 and 7. Now 6 goes with 12 and 7 goes with 14. Now if these are proportional, there's two ways I can do this. One, simplify your fractions. So that's one way. They must simplify to the same thing. 6 over 12, that's 1/2. 7 over 14 is 1/2. Okay, so they simplify to the same thing. Now simplifying is not your thing. Cross multiplied. 6 times 14 must be 12 times 7. 6 times 14 is 84. 12 times 7 is 84. So they're equal, so they're proportional. Like I said, for sides, you can either simplify the fraction, they must simplify to the same thing, or cross multiplied, they must be equal. All right, so the angles were the same, sides are proportional, therefore, this figure is similar. Take a look at number 16. Let me check angles first. This bottom corner is 75. This other corner is 80. The angles are not equal, therefore, not similar. Remember I said the angles must be equal and the sides must be proportional. It has to meet both criteria. As soon as it fails one, not similar. All right, let's take a look at 17 and 18. The polygons in each pair are similar. So I'm told they are similar. Find the missing side length. The question mark, I'm going to call it X. I only need two values from each figure. I'm only going to make two fractions. One of my values I'm going to choose is X. The other value I'm going to choose is 25. I can tell X goes with 21 and 25 goes with 15. I only need two values per figure. And I'm going to write two fractions. X and 25 go on top. All right, the numbers that I chose from the figured, they go on top. And then I said X goes with 21 and 25 goes with 15. Cross multiplied and solve for X, but you can simplify it a little if you wish. 25 over 15, let me simplify that fraction. I'm going to call that 5 over 3. I can also simplify it sideways. So the 3 and the 21, they become 1 and 7. Now, when I multiply diagonal. That's why we call it cross multiplication. The way you multiply is the only way you cannot simplify. So then I have X times 1 equals 7 times 5. So X equals 35. Remember, cross multiplied. Now, you don't have to simplify. You can deal with big numbers. If you have a calculator, then you have a calculator. Looking at number 18, the question mark, I'm going to call it X. I'm going to choose X and 18 from this figure. I only need two. I can tell X goes with 32, 18 goes with 24. So X and 18. Those are the numbers I chose from the one figure. And then I said X goes with 32 and 18 goes with 24. I want to simplify sideways. 24 and 32. Let me divide each by 8. Just to emphasize that you don't have to simplify all the way, let me cross multiply. 3x equals 18 times 4 is 72. Let me divide by 3 to get the x by itself. So x equals 24. Let's take a look at number 19. Solve for x. The polygons in each pair are similar. So because we're told they are similar, I only need two fractions. One of them, make sure it has the x in it. So I'm going to choose those two from that one figure. So I'm going to say negative 8 plus 3x on top of one fraction, and then 8 on top of the other fraction. I can tell that negative 8 plus 3x goes with 24, and 8 goes with 12. Cross multiply whenever you want. Simplify as much as you want. Let me simplify 8 over 12. That's 2 over 3. I'm just going to cross multiply already. In this case, because there's a plus sign, when there's a plus or minus, the number that is by itself gets multiplied to both numbers on the other side. So the 3 that it's by itself, I'm going to go 3 times 8 and 3 times 3. So when I cross multiply here, I get negative 24 plus 9x. Remember, I went 3 times 8 and then 3 times 3. So that's how I got the negative 24 plus 9x equals, here I have 24 times 2. All right, to get the x by itself, the minus 24, let me move it over as a plus 24. So I get the 9x equals 72. Let me divide both sides by 9. X equals 8. All right, for number 20, I'm going to choose the 3x plus 6 because I can tell that goes with 20. I'm going to choose the 18 because that goes with the 15th. So I'm going to write 3x plus 6 and 18. They come from the same figure, so they go on the top of the fractions. And 3x plus 6 goes with 20. 18 goes with 15th. I'm going to simplify as much as I can. I can simplify sideways. 20 and 15th, that gives me 4 and 3. Numbers are not that big anymore. So I can just cross multiply. So you can simplify as much as you want. Let me give myself some room. I'm just going to cross multiply. When I multiply this way, make sure that 3 gets multiplied to both terms. So that gives me 9x plus 18 equals 18 times 4 is 72. All right, let me move the 18 over. So I get the 9x equals 54. Divide both sides by 9. X equals 6. All right, let's take a look at number 21. Find the missing length. The triangles in each pair are similar. So number 21, I have two triangles. You can see the small triangle there. And you can see the big triangle there. So I have two triangles. X in this case, remember the question mark, I call it X. X in this case is in the small triangle. So let me choose two values from the small triangle, X and 72. I only need two of them. I can tell X goes with 77 and 72 goes with 84. Okay. Simplify as much as you want. Cross multiply whenever you want. I'm going to simplify 72 over 84. Let me divide each by 12. That gives me 6 and 7. I'm also going to simplify sideways. 7 and 77. Let me divide each by 7. Now I'm going to cross multiply. X times 1, that's just X. 6 times 11, that's 66. You can cross multiply whenever you want. From number 22, I'm going to choose X and 36. Remember the question mark, I call it X. We learn in Algebra 1 that when we don't know a value, we replace it with a letter. So I'm going to use X and 36. If you can tell if X is bigger, X goes with 20. If X is smaller, X goes with 15. If you can tell if X is bigger, then you already know. But if you cannot tell, use a notation from the top. X is the side RQ. So that's the first two letters. So RQ goes with RT. That means X goes with 20. And 36 goes with 15. When I simplify as much as I can, 20 and 15, let me divide each by 5. That gives me 4 and 3. I see a 4 and a 36, but I cross multiply, so I multiply diagonal. That's the only way I cannot simplify. Another way I can simplify is 36 over 3. That gives me 12 over 1. Now I'm going to cross multiply. X times 1, that's x. 12 times 4, that's 48. Next to the 4 and the 12, I did not simplify because that's the way I multiply. The way you multiply is the only way you cannot simplify. All right, let's take a look at 23 to 26. We're going to solve for x. The triangles in this case are similar. So from one figured, I'm going to choose the values x and 13. So I'm going to write two fractions and they go on top. I don't need to use a notation on the top because I can tell x is smaller. So x goes with 42 because that's a small number. 13 goes with 78. I'm going to simplify the fraction. 13 over 78. Let me divide each by 13. So in fact, let me divide sideways. 6 and 42. Let me divide each by 6. So I get 1 and 7. Now I'm going to cross multiply. 1 times x equals 1 times 7. Okay, you can simplify in order to deal with small numbers, but you can cross multiply whenever you want. All right, looking at question number 24, where x is, I want to use those two values, 10x plus 6 and 80. Because they come from the same figure, they go on the top of the fraction. Now, if you can tell if 10x plus 6 is bigger, if 10x plus 6 is bigger than 80, it goes with 50. If not, it goes with 35. Now, I cannot tell, so I'm going to say 10x plus 6 is the side ML. Those are the first two letters. So that goes with MU. That means that goes with 35. And 80 goes with 50. Let me simplify my fractions. 80 over 50, let me call that 8 over 5. I divided each by 10. Now I'm going to cross multiply. I don't have to simplify all the way. I'm just going to cross multiply this way. Because there's a plus sign, the 5, the number that is by itself, I'm going to multiply it 5 times 10 and 5 times 6. So that gives me 50x plus 30. So multiply the 5 to both equals, now 35 times 8. That is 280. Let me subtract 30. So I have that 50x is equal to 250. Let me divide by 50. X is equal to 5. Okay, that's not that bad. Let's take a look at number 26. From x, I can see x is in the small triangle. So I'm going to choose two values from the small triangle. 6x is one of them. 48 is another one. So 6x and 48. I can tell 6x goes with 77 and 48 goes with 56. Simplify as much as you want. 48 and 56, let me divide each by, let's divide it by 8. That gives me 6 over 7. Sideways, 7 and 77, let me divide each by 7. That's 11 and 1. All right, so let me cross multiply. 6x times 1 equals 11 times 6. Let me divide both sides by 6 to get the x by itself. X equals 11. Looking at the other triangles, I'm going to choose two values from the small triangle. So 2x minus 24 and 4. 2x minus 24 goes with 28, and 4 goes with 28 as well. I'm going to simplify 28 and 28. I'm just going to call that 1 and 1. I'm going to cross multiply. The number by itself goes to both terms. So 1 times 2x and 1 times 24 equals 4 times 1. Then minus 24, let me move it over as a plus 24. So I get that 2x equals 28. Divide both sides by 2. X equals 14. Now, the last two questions for today are going to ask us, state if the triangles in each pair are similar. If so, state how you know they are similar and complete the similar statement. There's 3 rules that we're going to use. Side, side, side. I'm going to be checking all 3 sides. Side, angle, side. I'm going to be checking 2 sides and the angle in between. Also going to use angle, angle. 2 angles of a triangle must be equal to the 2 angles of another triangle. When I'm comparing angles, they must be equal. When I'm comparing sides, they must be proportional. All right, so let's take a look at number 27. I can tell angle F is equal to angle Q, right? They're marked the same way. I also know that when there's an X form, opposite angles are equal. So I can say that this side of angle P is equal to this side of angle P. I have 2 angles on one triangle equal to 2 angles of the other triangle. That's enough for angle, angle. Order matters. So PQR, so you notice the statement at the bottom, triangle PQR, there's the triangle on the top. Let me highlight it. All right, so that angle P goes with the P from the other side. Q goes with F, and R goes with G. So triangle PQR is similar to triangle PFG. And then I'm going to say by angle, angle, because I use the rule angle, angle. If they are similar, you must complete the statement. Now for number 28, I can tell this angle is equal to this angle. So I can try to use side angle side. Let me see if the sides are proportional. So from one triangle, I'm going to use the numbers 36 and 48. On the other triangle, I'm going to use 99 and 132. Simplify if you want. You know, the way you can check if they're proportional, simplify the fractions. They must simplify to the same thing. 36 over 99. Let's see. Let's divide each by 9. That gives me 4 and 11. Better yet, I don't want to simplify. The numbers are too big. Let me cross multiply. 36 times 132. Let me figure what that is. 36 times 132. I get 4,752. All right, let me go this other way. 99 times 48. 99 times 48. I get 4,752. Oh, okay. Therefore, the sides are proportional. Like I said, we could simplify the fractions, or we can just cross multiply to equal the same thing. Sides are proportional. The angle in between is equal. So UVW, if you notice, that's this triangle. I'm going to highlight it. U on one side goes with U on the other side. V, so V goes with M, and then N. UVW similar to UMN, bide, side, angle, side.